kick it.
Hello, friends, and welcome back to the Girls' Room.
The Spice
This Spice Van. We are here for our season finale, and maybe among us, our most anticipated and most excited we've been for an episode in a very long time. We are here to do a deep dive on the Spice Girls. We are so excited. If you cannot tell or you are not familiar with the Spice Girls, we're going to let you know. I am Kylie, a.k.a. Ginger Spice, Jerry Halliwell.
I'm Kat, a.k.a. Sporty Spice, a.k.a. Mel C.
Who are you?
Somebody go.
Somebody say
I
something.
was thinking, da. Okay. and I'm Megan, and I'm Baby Spice.
I am Heather, and I am Scary Spice, Mel B.
Oh. My God.
Have we started recording yet? Oh, I'm Posh Spice.
Oh, Manny, you look so good, and thank you.
That's not fair.
Manny,
You're beautiful.
So beautiful. But I think we're using Dolores for Posh today.
Really?
Yeah.
Did you not get the memo?
No. So I shaved my bikini line for nothing?
I'm sorry.
I'm so
Guess
sorry.
you don't need me. Peace out.
Girl power.
Girl power.
Honorary Spice member.
Honorary Spice Girl. All right, and there's Dolores is Posh.
Hi, Dolores.
Beautiful. All right, so we're here.
Victoria Beckham, if you please.
In her little Gucci dress. But we are here
The
to do a
little Gucci
deep
dress.
dive on the Spice Girls. I'm so excited. This was such a huge part of my childhood. I know it was a part of everyone's childhoods, especially for girls around the world.
Yep.
I like to think that it was kind of our exposure to the feminist movement, because they were all about girl power. They were all about girls being just as important and just as strong as boys. And they did it in a fun, fashionable way that made it really appealing to so many people. So yeah. Does anybody want to talk about their Spice Girl background first?
I'll go, I guess.
Yeah.
So this was the era of, Spice Girls and Hanson were like the two big groups in like 1996, 97. So at that point I was still listening to cassettes, and I had a Walkman. So I had the first Spice Girls album on cassette, and then the second one was one of my very first CDs, actually. The Spice World was one of my very first CDs. And I used to play it just over and over and over and over and over and over and over. But I think I like Spice World better just because everything felt, I don't know, it felt more danceable.
It was my favorite of the albums.
You could just go through it and just kind of bop to whatever. And I love the vibe. Like you said, Kylie, I thought that it was, looking back, it's one of my first exposures to the feminist movement. And I know it was kind of gimmicky to have everybody be like their personas, but it was also a way to quickly identify with one or multiple of the singers. And I liked Ginger Spice the best. I don't know if I related to any of their caricatures or styles, but I liked Ginger. I liked Jerry the best. And I remember there was this one teen magazine, I think it was Teen Magazine or YM, if anyone remembers YM back in the day.
Yeah.
They had an interview with the Spice Girls, and they had like their vocal ranges, and I don't remember what the exact ranges were, but I do remember like the order in which, from lowest to highest, and it was Mel B, just a Scary, Posh, Ginger, Sporty, and Baby. I'm pretty sure. But I used to think it was a fun game to try to pick out whose voice was which. When they were doing solos and even when they were doing harmonizing, like who is that? Without looking at the music videos to, just sort of test my knowledge and imagine which one was singing. But I unfortunately never got to go to any concerts or anything. I did see the Spice World movie in the theaters with a friend of mine. I believe it was for was it my birthday? Did it come out in January, like a late January, early February situation? Because if it did, then it was definitely for my birthday.
I have it somewhere in here. It began filming in June, wrapped in August of 97, but I don't remember when it came out.
Spice World premiere, January 23rd, 1998. So yeah, I saw it for my birthday. But yeah, that's very high level, my experience with the Spice Girls. Oh, and I do remember when Sporty Spice, Mel C, had her first solo album come out. I had forgotten until I was doing research. Like, I owned that. That was also one that I played again and again. And we can dive a little more into each of our singers in a bit, right? Because I could go on about her specifically. So I'll save that for later.
Mine was very similar. So in elementary school, I was in Catholic school, which was an experience. And in the beginning, I loved Baby Spice. Baby Spice was my favorite. But anytime, like at recess or at sleepovers or anything along those lines, when we had to act out the Spice Girls, I was the token redhead, so I was always made
You always had to be
Spice.
Jerry. Yeah.
I always had to be Jerry. And so for a while, I was just like, okay, I guess. And then I slowly fell in love with Jerry. She's just so great. I'll never forget, there was one year for like a talent show at school. I think learned
everybody had like the talent show those couple years. At least one group did
somebody did
choreography or a song or just something. There was always the Spice Girls in there.
Of course, we learned choreography for Spice Up Your Life. We did some of the stuff that you could find, which was so hard because this was pre lots of shit on the internet. You can bleep me on that. But so you kind of just had to hope that you saw it on MTV or somewhere along those lines of like clips from them performing or their music videos. So we would take what we could remember and then add other stuff. And I love thinking back at this because at the time I just did not understand what the Union Jack was because that was before we were really learning about flags from other countries. And so my equivalent, I was like, oh, I know exactly what I'll wear. I had a one-piece American flag swimsuit. And then I like got pants to go over it. And I was like, yes, same colors, same thing.
I mean, she did do that too. I threw some pictures, we'll put it here, in the drive of her actually doing a American flag. So like the top were the blue stars and the stripes for the body.
Yeah. I love it. And I'll get more into it later, but one of my favorite fun facts that I learned again as an adult when they started doing interviews, I think it was around the London Olympics when they really started doing more interviews because they did the little pop-up performance in the opening ceremony. She talked about the famous dress and the fact that it was just a black dress, and she was like, I don't want to wear this. So she went and got a Union Jack tea towel and was like, here, stitch it on there, which was huge because like it was not a really accepted thing to wear the flag as a piece of clothing. So there was a lot of pushback on it. But anyway, yeah, we'll get into that later. But yes, that was my exposure. I used to listen to it constantly. Spice World was my favorite. I listened to all of them. Singing all of those songs at the top of my lungs in my room, in front of my mirror, with a hairbrush, not fully understanding what I was singing about every time I go back and list those songs. And I was like, oh, that is
a lot.
That was not
two become one.
Yes, when two become one was crazy. I was like, oh,
you gotta think a little bit wiser.
Yeah.
Put it on.
Yeah.
That was me. I think the first time I saw Spice World, it was at a sleepover and somebody rented it. And so we got to watch it, and it was just life-changing. Life-changing.
Yep.
Remember a lot about it because I was more on the Hanson spectrum. I cared about girl power, but I was also like,
Please.
yeah. So I do remember like listening to them all the time, having the cassettes, and just I wanted to be Jerry because I always wanted to have red hair. And so like as soon as I I wouldn't even say I had permission because I didn't have permission. For probably I dyed my hair for the first time my freshman year of high school, which would have been 98 around this time. Against my parents' wishes, and my hair was red until like 2006. So, and then
It's
I
so
went
funny.
away from it and came back to it.
Growing up as a redhead, you get made fun of by kids. You have adults who are like, oh my God, your hair is so beautiful. Never dye it, blah, blah, blah. Like, you get bullied for it as a kid, and then as an adult, you're like, oh no, I love my hair. Like, it took me so long to accept that. And the fact that everybody's like, no, I loved her because she had red hair. And it was like, I had to be her because I had red hair.
Yeah.
And then I learned to love her.
Yeah, I did my hair red for a while, and it was after a point where in TV and film you would see like the quirky but cool characters were redheads. Like you had Willow on Buffy, Warehouse 13, Claudia Donovan, and just like
Had
some of the
Charlie on Supernatural.
Charlie, Felicia Day, and like the nerdy cool. Like as I was coming into my own, accepting like this is the personality of who I am. I'm like, oh, they're all redheads. I want something to visually represent that this is part of my personality, and that for a good 10 years I read. Yeah,
But I wanted to be the BA. I'll censor myself here. That was Melanie.
Yeah.
Because she just didn't care. She was
Scary.
just like loud.
It was in your
and
face.
In your face, but like unapologetic about it. So
Yeah.
100%.
And she's like, to this day, I think one of the most stunning, beautiful women of all time. Like, she's
Constantly.
so gorgeous. I think
absolutely.
Melanie is. She's amazing. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, for me, like, I grew up with pop sound. Like, I was all about the gumball pop music. That was me. So I was my BSB phase and NSYNC. I loved Spice Girls, and I loved a lot of girl bands like that were even in R&B and a different style. But I was very, very gumball pop, as I call it, or bubblegum pop, whatever you want to say. And like you, Kylie, I also have so many memories of being at sleepovers and we would just jam the Spice Girls album. Growing up, my favorite was always Sporty because I was such a tom girl. And like, I don't think about it being like a tomboy because I still liked girly things, but I didn't dress girly. I always wore pants, and I was like, yay, somebody who wears pants and is not in a skirt or is not in high heels. And I also played a lot of sports, so I was very athletic, and so I felt like I represented her. But I mean, Baby was also my favorite because, blondes. I had blonde hair growing up too, but I just loved her little innocence. I loved the innocent act with her. Like she, with the having a lollipop in her mouth all the time, or she'd have like
her
the rope stuffed animals.
Yeah.
What I found interesting is they didn't like really pick those personas.
No,
It was, to an extent, yes.
to an
but
extent, yeah.
It was, and I can't remember because I didn't write it down. There was a magazine or something like that. And they kind of dubbed them these names. Victoria, and this is like a quote from that article. Victoria was Posh Spice because she was wearing a Gucci style mini dress.
Yeah.
And seemed very like pouty and reserved. And Emma had her pigtails and sucked a lollipop. So obviously she was Baby Spice. She was also the youngest too.
Yeah. To us.
Melanie C spent the whole time like just jumping around in a tracksuit, so Sporty Spice. Melanie B scary because she was just so shouty and like kind of in your face and like all the time. And then Ginger was simply because she had ginger hair, and they said, well, there wasn't much thought into that one.
Yeah.
Which honestly kind of...
It's the curse of the redhead. It's like, oh, you have red hair, all of your nicknames are going to be about the fact that you have red hair.
And she kind of cites that as one of the reasons why, another reason why she left is because she just, everybody had their thing, you know, and she didn't really feel like she had a thing. She was just the redhead, you know, so she just kind of, she didn't feel like she fit in with everybody else too. So, unfortunately.
I feel like her style stood out more, even though she didn't have a thing. I remember vividly the Union Jack, like the big sequin boots and like the money pieces, like the blonde with the red.
She was more theatrical.
Yeah.
I also just liked how intelligent she was. Like she was always the one, especially like in the movie and things like that, like she came off as multilingual. Like she learned how to say things in other languages. She was very like, she was really good at being the Henry, can we stop tippy tapping? She was very good at like being the really outspoken one with like the press and being very like charismatic and just that, and that's what eventually drew me to her.
Hi, buddy.
Drew me to her later. Give me 2 seconds. Let me let him out of this room.
Yeah, I remember tying it into Nickelodeon. The Spice Girls, it was a big deal. They had them on All That when Spice World came out. And at that point, they had a lot of R&B singers before then that I at that time wasn't familiar with because I was like, 8 years old, and it was just whatever was on the radio. But then they had the Spice Girls on, and they were in a sketch. I think they were in the classroom, and for show and tell, they're like, I brought the Spice Girls, and they went through each one, and they had their personalities. And I remember just from that sketch that for Jerry, like she was the intelligent one. She recited, I forget if it was the Pythagorean theorem or something, but they're asking her for like all the answers to like the test questions.
Yeah.
So yeah. And then they asked, what are your favorite spices? But I just remember that was one of the bigger names, I think, at that point that I was familiar with as a musical guest on All That.
Okay.
Do you want to talk about how they became the Spice Girls, or do you want to do some stats? Like,
let's do history. Let's do some lore. I'm going to leave that up to you if you want to do it, because you did a whole bunch of research.
Historian Heather.
Yeah, and this is actually
Spice, Scary Spice.
Historian Spice.
I'm historian Spice.
I don't know why I wouldn't just be pushing up my glasses.
I'm going to need my glasses to read the notes, so I'm Nerdy Spice.
I have contacts in, so as long as I'm far away, I can read because I'm going to have to get bifocals because I'm Old Spice. So anyway, making of the band. So they are not a band that was formed like on their own. They early 90s, there was a group called Heart Management, and they said, you know what, we want to create a girl group because there's so many boy bands just dominating the charts. Let's flip the script. So they put an advertisement in the Stage, which they call it a trade paper. I don't know what that exactly means. I don't know if it's like a newspaper or like a advertising kind of thing, but anyway, they said they wanted 5 strikingly different girls that would appeal to different audiences. And they asked for singers for this all-female group. And 400 women actually showed up for the audition.
Wow.
Seems like a low number.
Yeah. I mean,
these days anyway, but yeah.
I almost feel like maybe it was just in one town kind of thing. I'm not really sure. So I guess they had multiple auditions, like multiple rounds. The first audition, after like the first set of auditions, and then they like deliberated on everybody who auditioned, they came up with the original lineup of the group. The original lineup was Victoria, always. I just punched her in the face, was always going to be in the group. Stay there. Mel B, and then 2 other women, Melanie Coloma, the original Melanie C, and Michelle Stevenson, who was very young. She was like 17 at the time. They were part of the original lineup, but they're like, this isn't it. This is not it. So second round of auditions, Mel C had tonsillitis, so she actually missed the auditions. And I don't know what happened, how they got her audition, but that Melanie, the original Mel C, they got rid of her. They were like, I don't know, replaced her with...
They needed just another Mel C. It wasn't just, we need another sporty spice. Like, we need another girl named Melanie, last name begins with C.
Has to be Melanie, and our last name is start with a C.
So they were like, we're going to replace you. And our Melanie C came in, Melanie Chisholm. So at this point in time, we also learned that like Jerry had missed auditions. I read somewhere that it was because she had sunburn. I don't know, which very valid as a gender.
Yeah.
So she actually was like, I insist on a redo. I want you to audition me. I don't care if auditions are over. So then after the second audition, our lineup consisted of Victoria, Melanie B, Jerry, Melanie C, and then this Michelle chick.
Michelle.
Not me.
Michelle.
Get out of here, Michelle.
She actually
The Lost Tanner.
right?
Yeah, really.
She actually
Cut it out.
she went on to sing. She had a career. I don't know how big of a career, but she had a career. They brought them back for a callback, and they sang "Signed, Sealed, and Delivered." I'm yours, as like their own little group, and they were like, "Okay, you are the girl group Touch." I don't Touch.
Horrendous name.
Yeah.
Accurate.
It's very 90s.
Yeah.
So at this point, like it was like this was the Spice Girls. They got a house together. They started working on songs that were written for them. They were very like aimed at like young girls. Ultimately, none of those songs that were written for Touch were ever used. They were too adolescent, I guess. Not sure what happened. They were doing like their choreography and stage presence, and this is where I read like conflicting stories on what happened, but one said they fired Michelle because she had lack of commitment. Like I read something that she was like sunbathing while the rest of the girls were working hard.
How dare she?
Come on, Michelle, get it together.
At the same time, she was only 17, so do you blame her?
Yeah.
And then others stories, she's come out and said like, I quit because my mom had cancer. So off, I censored myself there. So they're like, well, this is not the band. We need that fifth person. It doesn't feel right. And the band had a vocal coach, and he had a student named Emma Bunton. And he was like, she's really talented. I think she should audition for you. And they were like, yep, that's it. She's it. This is it. This is the final 5. They were solidified. They started songwriting and stuff like that. And they worked on this song called Sugar and Spice. And that kind of inspired them to change their name from Touch, which was lame, to just Spice. Yeah, and Spice Girls later became a thing because there was already a band named Spice. He was like a rapper, and he was like, I will sue you. And they're like, cool. We're Spice Girls. We're Spice
Cool,
Girls.
man. We're good.
Yeah, nope.
Yeah.
Back your roll up there.
So, so they originally were like on this Heart label, but Heart was like, they were working really hard, recording constantly, and they were like getting nowhere. Management, they felt like they were insecure as a band because they never got an official contract. They created them, but they never gave them.
What?
That's
like, I'm sorry, but
That's not.
no.
Wow.
Management just seemed to be kind of like leading them on. They couldn't find like, what is their team's like, what's the direction, where are we going? And ultimately they are like, we have opinions, we have ideas, and management does not care. They don't want to listen to me. So while they were working with that heart management, they did write Wannabe and To Become One. So here's what I thought was kind of funny. They're kind of baddies because they allegedly, I don't know that this is true, stole their master recordings when they dipped. They were like, we're going to take all of our discography and from the manager's office and just sneak on out. I've also read, like, later on, they seem to get a little bit big for their britches. They dumped their manager who they had had this whole time, and they went into his calendar and got all their tour schedule and stuff and deleted it from his calendar and, like, took their data. Apparently Jerry did that.
I wouldn't put it past her.
So at this point they were like, bye. They quit, stole everything, took it with them, and they found, like, they had been doing workshops with musicians and songwriters, and they really liked this one guy. So they met with him and said, hey, can you help us record demos? And most of the songs that they recorded with him, I can't remember his name, I think it was like Eric, ended up being the songs from their debut album. Say You'll Be There, Who Do You Think You Are?
Nice.
And they found a record company that I've never heard of before. I can't remember. It was like 19 Records or something like that. And they started, like, getting, even though they weren't doing much other than they had these demos and were playing them kind of around town, they didn't really have, like, a backing yet. But major record labels in LA, in London, were hearing about them, and it started this huge bidding war, and everyone's like, I have to have the Spice Girls. And Virgin Records won the bidding war in July of 95. So
Nice.
that is when Spice Girls became Spice Girls that we know now, and
Became a phenomenon.
a feminine.
A phenomenon.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, there's more here, but other people can talk too.
Yeah, we can go through our timeline. Our beautiful lore keeper Heather has made us a beautifully researched timeline and notes. Bless you.
I didn't go deep because I was like, we'll probably talk about them, but I do have some of, like, the things, like the big things that happened during those years.
Yeah. I will take 97. So in 1997, Spice World began filming in June. They wrapped in August.
Space World.
I mean, they did meet aliens.
Spin-off
Really
of Space
loved that
Cases.
they couldn't do things.
They have a lot of tracks that talk about, like, space, outer space, space.
It was very 90s Y2K. It was all about space. Filming was to be set to the songs from the group's 2 studio albums, but no songs had been written when they began filming the movie, which is crazy to me that they started filming and had no songs written for it. They were writing and recording at the same time they were filming, which resulted in a very grueling schedule that left them exhausted. But during all of this, they did write Stop, which is, again, I feel like every song I would be like, that's one of my favorites.
I know,
I
right?
love all of them. Which to me has some of the most iconic choreography. I still know it to this day. The lyrics for which cover the group's frustrations with being overworked by management. So that was kind of their little rebellion within that, to be like, hey, you got to give us a break.
It was kind of wild. Like, they were, and they still gruelingly went. I mean, if you think about it, they auditioned in 94, and they weren't even, like, hitting the ground until 95. So, and that was, I think, wait, it's up here. Hold on. Where did it go? Their debut album was just Spice in 96. So, like, they went straight from finding their
Sound.
management and sound, getting that and going on tour. That first album, Spice, sold 23 million copies worldwide.
That's crazy.
It was actually the best-selling album by a female group in history.
That's crazy.
Or should I say herstory?
In her story.
Her story.
And then in 1998, my saddest part was while in the middle of the Spice World tour, Jerry quit. She said that it was creative differences, and then doubled back and said it was like exhaustion, depression, things along those lines, which is, again, understandable. She said she didn't really feel like she fit in. It kind of goes back to what we were saying, where she didn't feel like she really had a thing. She was just kind of there.
She was the oldest of the four
Yeah.
or five, correct?
Yes, I believe so. It's not been confirmed on both sides, but it has been talked about by at least one member, which is always my fun fact that I pull out when the Spice Girls come up, is that the reason Jerry left is that Ginger and Scary had a romantic relationship and it ended badly, and so Jerry decided that she wanted to just not be in the group anymore and be around her. Mel B has talked about this. Did she write a book too?
It
that
was
she
her
mentioned
autobiography. It was in her
Yeah.
biography. She kind of said, we had a thing. She's very open about her sexuality. She says, I don't care who it is. I just love. Like I'm not. How did she put it?
She hasn't put a label on
She
it.
likes the wine, not the label.
Yeah. She hasn't put a label on it. She loves people.
She says, I'm not bisexual. I'm not heterosexual. I'm not a lesbian. I just kind of love everybody. She said, I have she said, people call me lesbian, bisexual, or heterosexual, but I know who's in my bed, and that's it. I have a huge libido and a great sex life. And she was dating
for her.
women. She's had 3 husbands, multiple partners, both male and female. And it was a 2019 interview with Piers Morgan. She said, she was asked if she had ever slept with Jerry in an intimate manner, and she nodded yes. So Hallowell then released a statement saying that the press reports following the interview became like hurtful to her family. Mel B later said, I just said it was like a little thing and we giggled about it the next day and that was it. It's the press who then turned it into something else and made it like this whole next level thing.
Frickin' tabloids, man.
I know, man. But yeah, so after that, the band carried on as a 4-member group. And this, at that time, Mel B and Victoria Beckham had gotten married. So that had kind of changed things as well.
At that point, both of them had children too. They each, Melanie had her first daughter, I'm blanking on her name, but Victoria had Brooklyn. So that's his name, right?
Yeah, Mel B, maybe it was last year, because I stumbled upon it on TikTok. I love that there's a whole chunk of TikTok about Spice Girls. It makes me feel like I'm a kid again.
Spice talk.
I know, I love it. But her daughter did a whole photo shoot wearing her old Spice Girls costumes. Because, yeah, and Mel was talking about it. She was like, yeah, she would come in my room and she was like, do you still have this? Do you still have this? And, like, she did a whole, I'll have to find them and upload them to the drive so that Alex can edit them in. But did a whole photo shoot with, like with her animal print with the space buns with the gold ties wrapped around them, and just did a whole shoot on them. And I was like, I love that she still has all of that. Like, that makes my heart so happy.
Her babies are beautiful.
Yeah.
Her daughters, this is as of 2023. I don't know that this is 100% accurate, but Phoenix, Madison, and Angel. So, yeah, I think it was the oldest.
Yeah.
Phoenix. So.
So I remember there was a big, like, again, when Spice World came out, there was a big Pepsi campaign with them, Generation X.
Generation Next is the song.
Yeah.
And they even did. There was a big
Again with the red, white, and blue, right? Like the logo and yeah.
that probably ties into their very first time playing in Turkey, in Istanbul, not Constantinople. Sorry.
I appreciate
It's
you
like
for that.
a reflex, right? Like I said it in my brain.
Yeah.
Yep.
I had to say it out of my mouth. They had their very first concert there, and they did like there were multiple songs for the Pepsi campaign because you can watch it on Amazon Prime if you're curious. If you have Quello concerts, which I do, because it's cool to a little plug here. Quello concerts, you can watch all kinds of crazy concerts like The Doors, Led Zeppelin. Like,
That's cool. I've not even
Nice.
heard of that before. I'm gonna have to look it up.
It's like $7.99 a month, but like you can cancel anytime. So like I did it to watch a bunch of concerts and then just there's like Fleetwood Mac ones, like classic old school stuff, and then there's still new stuff in there too. So a little plug for that. But they have their concert on there for free because you're paying the $7.99 whatever. But it was like the first concert there. They kind of do some cool behind the scenes, like them getting ready for it, practicing and all that stuff. And they play multiple songs in it from the Pepsi thing. They do the Generation Next. And there's another one they said, this is the Pepsi song, but I had never heard it. It was like brand new information to me. But they were like Pepsi symbols on like the lighting of Pepsi symbols on the stage.
Yeah.
Like that. It didn't sound like it had
Yeah.
anything to do with Pepsi.
Product placement. It makes you money, man.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think we might have talked about this before, but like the one song from Spice World, like I liked Leader of the Gang and they didn't have it on the album. And because I didn't know it at the time, but the whole Gary Glitter controversy thing happened like between filming and release.
I loved that song too.
So mad. It's one of my favorites. And I'm like, yet another man
Cover, but yeah.
ruining it.
A lot of
I mean, I'm sure if we look it up, somebody is probably, audio edited, spliced it together without the dialogue in between and made a whole song out of it, probably on YouTube.
There was another scene from it that was apparently deleted or changed because it talked about Princess Diana because the was filmed before she passed.
Yeah. I don't know.
Oh, I didn't know that.
It was definitely, well, wait.
Was it
Yeah,
when
it
they
was
were
filmed before
riding
she
on the
passed.
bus?
It was released after.
Yeah.
Yeah, there is
'Cause
a
it-
scene where they're like in the bus driving past.
Yeah.
And
And
they're
she's like, "Hi, William. Hello, Charlie." And it's like Harry and Charlie, whatever they say. Yeah, that's what I wondered if maybe that's where they cut it.
yeah, there had to have been something in there that they cut. And they even like they had a controversy with The Crown too. At least Mel and Jerry. I have it in my notes back here. Their very first UK live show for the Prince's Trust benefit concert. At the show, they breached royal protocol when Mel and then Jerry planted kisses on Prince Charles' cheeks, and then they pinched his booty.
Oh,
So that was a little bit of controversy. They're never without a little bit of.
They're spicy.
It's in the name, guys.
It's
Come
in
on.
the name.
it's in the name.
Come on.
Yeah.
Go.
I'll finish up our timeline real fast and then we
yeah.
can go into our individual ladies. 1999 is when they took a break and a lot of them recorded solo albums. Jerry was actually immediately stopped with Spice Girls and almost immediately went back into solo artistry herself.
I found that kind of curious since she was like, "I'm too exhausted," and then it was like, "Just kidding, here's my solo album."
Yeah.
It was a little shaky.
Suspicious.
In 2000, their final album, Forever, which was them as a four-piece, it had R&B sound, and unfortunately, it was not well reviewed.
Yeah, it's not my
I
favorite.
don't even think I remember much of that album.
I don't
'cause I
either.
don't think I ever really.
My jam.
Yeah, was that the Viva Forever?
Nope, that was before. That was actually the last video that they did all together. And then
okay.
Goodbye came out right after that, which was kind of like they attributed it to Jerry.
Yeah.
This was like the only song I because we listened to the Spice Girls all day yesterday.
So did Alex and I.
Songs that Manny and I were like,
Alex listened to it too?
No. I was like, me too.
I had never heard, like, I was like, I swear, I think I just stopped listening. There was a song called Holler, and it was very much like Destiny's Child TLC feel, and it was like, you make me wanna holler and make you scream my name. Magic together, it's driving you insane.
It sounds very familiar.
And
it was like my favorite part. Holla, 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 come on, holla, 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 holla. But it had like Dark Child in it, because like which I always thought was Dog Chow. Remember? And Say My Name, where it's like Dog Chow 99.
Dog Chow.
It's Dark Child.
Dog Chow.
Dog Chow 99.
Oh, God bless you.
I love you so much.
But by the end of 2000, they basically went on an indefinite hiatus for their solo careers. 2007, which I'm still so bitter about. They had a comeback and a reunion with a worldwide tour. They had a comeback single called Headlines, Friendship Never Ends. The tour was the highest grossing concert act of 2007 to 2008, measured as the 12 months ending in April of 2008. I believe I had a couple friends who got to see them, and I was heartbroken.
Same.
Absolutely heartbroken. And then the most recent thing they did was in 2012, which again incited mass panic. They thought it was going to be more reunions and concerts, and they even kind of talked about it in the press, but it never happened. The 2012 Olympics in London.
I remember watching it live and not knowing that they were going to be there. And
I know.
In her loving mind, I was like,
Yeah.
"Oh my God!" Because
I was like, shut up.
My poor parents just...
The picture here.
Yes.
They rolled out each one of them on a mini Austin. What was it called? The little
Yeah,
car.
and they had their big double-decker bus.
And they were all riding on them and singing.
Yes. And Jerry had the full, it looked like Renaissance gown in the Union Jack colors. Like, it was a very nice, it was awesome. It was great. I loved it. It was unexpected. And then because of all the press they did afterwards, everybody thought that they were going to do another tour again. And they all said, they were like, we would love to, but it didn't happen, and that's okay.
I think
maybe
Victoria
one day
was kind of over it. Like,
yeah, she's definitely completely moved on and done her own thing, which I get it. She's also got her own issues right now, and that's okay.
You're not kidding.
I get it. But yeah, so that was, it's still crazy to me that it was only like it wasn't even a decade of Spice Girls. It was,
But it seemed like it was so much longer.
yeah, it seemed forever. But it was such, in the grand scheme of things, it was kind of like a flashbang, and so impactful, and still to this day impactful. And I love that.
They are like, according to what I'd pulled, they're, like we said, the girl power message kind of reshaped the image of like girl groups and emphasized like individuality, confidence, the ability to speak, and empowerment. That's just me. And
I mean, it was also
like most of their songs kind of focused on like friendship, romance, sex, and living your
life.
Yeah.
And most importantly, the person you need to love the most first is yourself.
And even though it was like their I'm just going to call them characters, like they were manufactured personas, right?
Yeah.
They were manufactured, like it still conveyed that like you can be friends with very different people and still have a very tight bond.
Right.
And have respect for people from all walks of life who have different interests than you, and different cultures. Like, that's the one thing I know all of us were rewatching a lot of things and re-listening to things, and I was rewatching Spice World as I was getting ready. But it's like, their friend who was pregnant, and they were trying to put the everything on hold so that they could be there for their pregnant friend. And, you know, they're at that industry party, and because Jerry had some kind of random fact, because that's who she was in the movie. She was the random fact girl. And like, she had talked about manta rays and sea life, and like, Scary brings it up talking to some random person who's talking about designers, and then Jerry's talking to people, and she was like, it's not that we think we're better than men, it's just that we want to be treated equally, and that there's nothing wrong with being a woman. And like, it's just like, it's so in your face, wrapped in this like beautifully bizarre fashionista, you know, glitter and chunky highlights and all of that. And it almost like it's like it took the edge off of it enough for patriarchal society that they didn't immediately be like, no, this is awful, which is why I think it really took off with young girls, and they just kind of grasped onto that.
Yeah.
And as silly as the song Spice Up Your Life is, like, sorry, I can't.
You're fine.
I'm all choked up. No, not really, but I'm having some trouble with my voice. Like, literally the song lyrics are like, when you're feeling sad and low, this is going to take you, like, it's going to make you smile. All you need is positivity, and you can kind of face anything.
Yeah.
And this
Talking about dancing,
cultures of the world,
all the different
styles of
yes,
dance.
colors, and even like
happy life, every boy, every girl.
I thought for the longest time it was like the slam to the left. If you're having a good time, shake it to the right. If you know that you feel fine, chicas to the front. Mm-hmm. I didn't know what those words were. Ha ha, and the hi, as in like Japanese hi.
Yep.
Hello. Si, or hi as in yes. Sorry, hi as in Japanese.
Hi, see, yeah.
Si as in like it's like yes, yes, and yes in Japanese, Spanish, and German. Like that it. And I always wondered the whole yellow man in Timbuktu. Then I mean that's a little bit racist.
It was not
I
great.
think they censor it now when they play it in, because they played I'm a Whovian, and one of the 60th anniversary episodes of Doctor Who, they played the Spice Girls, and they definitely took that part out when they played it.
Yeah. Kung Fu fighting, the dancing Queen Manny. When we listened to it, he was like, tribal spaceman. I mean, it's
in between.
It's for everybody, everything, girls, boys.
Yeah.
Have fun, enjoy your life, and dance. All you need is positivity. Their debut album, like I said earlier, was 23 million copies worldwide, making them the best-selling album in female group in history. Second album, Spice World, 97, 14 million copies. Their double-sided A track that they did of Mama and Who Do You Think You Are came out in Europe in March of 97. And it made the Spice Girls the first group since the Jackson 5 to have 4 consecutive #1 hits.
Oh, wow.
Crazy. The Spice World Tour was the highest grossing concert by a female tour group, attended by 2.1 million people.
Wow.
Their tours won the Billboard Live Music Award for highest grossing engagements, making them the top touring female group from 98 to 2020. Like, that whole time, they still held the crown. I don't know who took them down. Probably K-pop, I would assume. The Spice Girls have won 5 Brit Awards, 3 American Music Awards, 4 Billboard Music Awards, 3 MTV European Music Awards, 1 MTV Music Award, and then in 2000 they became the youngest recipients ever of the Brit Award for the outstanding contribution to music. And have sold over 100 million records worldwide, making them the best-selling girl group of all time. So, like,
I feel like after them, there were definitely more girl groups in pop culture, like at the forefront of pop culture. Like shortly after that, like Bewitched, again from across the pond. And that's when like Disney started doing like Cheetah Girls stuff, and like it just became very ingrained in pop culture to have like these girl power female artists and bands and groups.
Yeah.
Which is really cool.
Yeah.
They paved the way.
Yeah.
Oh. Well.
All right, do we want to do our deep dives on our characters, and then we will ramp it up?
I'm going to start with the youngest.
Yeah, we'll start with
Sure. Just a baby.
Well, I say yeah.
Not you, Phoebe. Phoebe just went, no, not you, Phoebe.
I feel like I need to cuddle you. So, yeah, Emma Bunton. Thank you, Heather, for typing this up for me because I didn't have time. She was born on January 21st, 1976. She just turned the big 50 this year.
crazy.
Which is crazy to think about.
Crazy.
And she was born in North London. And of course, they gave her the name Baby Spice because she was the youngest of the group. So her mom and dad, her mom was a karate instructor. There's where those kung fu fighting came in cute.
I didn't even think about it until this. In the movie, they have her as the kung fu.
She is, yes.
Now it all makes sense.
I love this note that Heather put in for us that says her dad was a milkman. Hey, I didn't even know they were still around, but Manny looked it up and they were. So Manny says so.
They had milkmen or like milk delivery services.
Milk delivery, yeah.
Or automated, like vehicles up until 2026 or 2016 in parts of Europe. If you didn't know.
Yeah. So she enrolled in the Sylvia Young Theater School. It's well known for a training ground for young performers. And she was a child model for like companies like Mother Care and Polly Pocket, which I was obsessed with as a kid. She did do some small parts acting in like BBC soap operas before she took off with her music career in EastEnders and a police drama called The Bill. And she even had a small role in the BBC drama series To Play the King as a prostitute. Oh.
Hey.
Her roles, when I was looking at them, I was like, none of these sound like her persona of Baby Spice. She was like a mugger,
Yeah.
a prostitute.
Uh-huh.
Well, I loved, even in the Spice World movie, it was like when she was like, I'm 30, and then they did that weird, like, period piece flashback with Hugh Laurie. I was like, this is crazy. Like,
Yes.
All these children. I've got about
Even when I'm 30.
I know.
And then in November of '99, she debuted her solo single, which was a cover of the song What I Am. And she did do several solo albums with a more warm retro pop feel, including hits like What Took You So Long. And she's remained a presence in UK ever since. She's done a little bit of some voice acting as well. And now she's a wife and has 2 kiddos of her own. Not a bunch, like 100 or whatever she had in that flashback video. But she's done radio personality. She's still acting and a TV presenter, and she's helped launch a children's wear line of clothing and huge in philanthropy. She does a lot like with kids with psychological, physical, and developmental disabilities, which is really cool. Love to see that.
gotta love it.
She's done a lot with childhood abuse campaigns, foundations that research childhood diseases, performing arts, music charities, a lot of stuff for kids. And I really like to see that because as someone who's a fellow teacher and with children's ministry, I love to see that. Anything to advocate for kids. So keep it up, Miss Emma. So yeah, there's a little background on my girl.
She's kind of awesome.
She is kind of awesome.
I wish I knew what their age order was. I didn't look.
I know. Jerry's 54 this year.
Mel C is 52. That doesn't seem right. Math is the mathing.
So next would be Mel B. If you're going youngest to oldest.
Okay.
I can talk about Mel. I don't have as many notes because I was like, I'll come back to this after I get ready. And then I wasn't.
The space buns.
These
take forever.
Just a little bit wonky, and I was trying to curl my hair, and I was like pulling out hair products, and I was like, this is not working. So
yeah, I also allotted myself like an hour and a half, and my hair took at least the hour of that, and I was like, great, cool.
I mean, I did have to get 3 people ready.
That's fair.
So Mel B, Scary Spice. She was born in Leeds, so you'll notice a very different, like if you pay attention to these things, accent. I love accents. So both the Melanies were Leeds, from Leeds, so they have that harsher accent. In West Yorkshire, she was born. Her mother, Andrea, is English, and her dad, Martin, is actually from a Caribbean island that I had to look up how to say it because I was gonna sound dumb, but I was right, and it's Nevis, like Beavis. Sorry, that's not funny. So it's like a part of like the Kit Islands? Sorry, I'm trying to find where I just put that. I can't remember. Oh, St. Kitts and Nevis is where like they're from. It didn't say what they kind of did. I do know that she has a famous cousin who is an actor, Christian Cook. I've never heard of him. And like relatives were like the minister of the government in Nevis, and one of her cousins is actually a cricket player. So she actually was a babysitter when she was growing up too, and babysat Micah Richards, who later on went on to become a professional footballer.
Nice.
So that's really cool. And she studied, too many tabs open. She studied performing arts actually at like an intake high school before coming into the entertainment industry. They said she was always hungry to perform. Mm-hmm. She was whether it was like dancing in local productions, she was auditioning constantly, and she would even skip school to audition for things. She was always very high energy, charismatic. Like this is what she wanted. She went on like after everything to try her album. It didn't really work out as well as she would have liked. I think she only had one album that she put out, if I remember correctly. No, Victoria only had one album. She had 2 albums. Did not really go as well as people would have liked, and ultimately she kind of put music aside. Other than the Spice Girls, she kind of stuck more towards TV personality. She was a talent show judge for the X Factor, America's Got Talent, and the Voice Kids version in Australia. But she did it all: songwrote, danced, actress, television person.
She was runner-up on Dancing with the Stars season 5.
Yeah, she second place. And she has always just wanted to be, on the stage. She did a lot of acting. She was in like Secret Diary of a Call Girl, Lifetime movies. She was a judge on a televised dancing show. Plus like all the America's Got Talent kind of stuff.
Yeah.
She also did the lip sync battle.
Yes.
I don't know if she just judged it, I think. Didn't actually singing it. She has done more stuff in TV. Her personal life, rough.
Yeah.
She's, like I said, she's been married 3 times. Her most recent, she just got married this past year. She kind of had a lot of like big people that she dated, including one of the fathers of her children, Eddie Murphy, which is wild to me. I remember.
Yeah, it still blows my mind.
Yeah.
Her first husband was actually like a dancer, and that was like during their Spice World tour. That's where she got her first husband, Phoenix, and where she actually apparently changed her stage name from Mel B to Mel G because his last name was Gulzar. She had like a big custody settlement with him, and he actually tried to threaten her and attacked her physically and her sister. He was found guilty by the courts. She was dating an actor named Max Beasley. She had a 4-year relationship with a woman. Then they were together for a while, and that's where like she started talking more about her, like being very open about her sexuality. She had a lot of drama. Like I felt like most of the information I could find about her was just her love life drama, and it just kind of sad. Like she was the subject of all this tabloid stuff when she was with Eddie Murphy. Her second baby was with him. They basically got a divorce. They had all kinds of fighting. He kind of said that she cheated. She even said in her autobiography they were so happy that they were jumping up and down on the bed whenever they found out they were pregnant. But then he left her before she had the baby, and he was like, not my baby unless it's proven by a DNA test, which is messed up. Like, you were just excited about this.
Like,
He's a person that I don't love.
Basically,
anymore.
after the baby was born, they did a court-ordered DNA test. He said, you are the father. And he's like, okay, here's $7 million, bye.
And the DNA test proved that was true.
Right.
To Maury.
Her second husband, they had some rough stuff during theirs. She actually, trigger warning, tried to commit suicide in 2014, right after like she had already had her third child at that point in time, and after it happened she was kind of like, this is not what I want, and got her husband to come up and get her, took her to the hospital. Her oldest was like really upset, just like yelling at her in the hospital bed. That was like the first thing when she came to in the hospital was like her daughter, like, why would you do this? Pretty messed up stuff. But we find out that the reason is he was very abusive. Her second husband, he was like just horrible to her. They got a divorce, both emotional and physical abuse. And he was like, I'm not giving you any money. You're only divorcing me because you blew all your money on this extravagant lifestyle. Like, you blew your $50 million worth of Spice Girls money. And that was like all a lie. Eddie, after she divorced him, her father also passed away. So she was treated for PTSD. And that's when she started working with Women's Aid as like a patron of domestic violence survivors.
I remember that.
Yeah. So yeah, she is married now. Things are looking better. And actually, Victoria Beckham designed her wedding dress for wedding. They were married at St. Paul's Cathedral. And she is much happier. In 2024, she was awarded an honorary doctorate by Leeds Beckett University for her career and work with Women's Aid. So that's kind of
good for her.
She's more of like the TV personality. trying to take care of her babies and just live her life.
Yeah.
That's all I got about her. And that's Scary Spice in a nutshell.
All right. Cool. I guess sporty would be
Yep, sporty.
next up. All right. Mel C. Mel, you're going to have to correct me on this.
Skip her.
What?
I would say
be
technically
fine.
it'd be Victoria.
Oh, well, we could do Victoria.
Let's see. She was born.
Manny, get in here.
Manny, come back. I'm just kidding. Don't come back. I don't know what you're wearing. Victoria was born April 17th, 1974 in Essex. She was the oldest of three. Her mom was an insurance clerk and hairdresser. Dad was an electronics engineer. And they actually had an electronics like wholesale business. So like they had a very comfortable upbringing. Oh shoot, her great grandfather was a German artist and revolutionary, Karl Heinrich Fander, probably saying that wrong. And her great granduncle was the Minnesota politician William Fander. I'm probably butchering those. While watching the musical Fame in 1980, she said, "That's what I want to do. I want to be a musician." Her parents put her into a theater school called Jason Theater School. And then she went to the Lane Theater Arts in Surrey, studied dance and modeling. She went to school. She was embarrassed that she was wealthy. She was like, "Please, Daddy, don't drop
You
me
gotta
off."
be a
in
starving
your-"
artist.
Right? She's like, "Please, Daddy, do not drop me off in your Rolls Royce today." And she actually she moved on to, before Spice Girls, was in a band called Persuasion. Don't know what kind of band it was. She, after the music career, did one album. It did not do very well. From what I read, it was kind of like stick to fashion. Like it was just She also has unreleased albums that never came out.
Really?
It sounds like let's see. Final second, mine of theirs. So there were rumors that she was going to be dropped by her label because she was just not doing well with her album. And they like strongly denied it. She said, what newspapers are. They just like to put all the negative stuff in. But as far as I'm concerned, and the record company is concerned, everything's great. Mm-hmm. So then she was dropped, as well as she was dropped by Virgin Records along with Spice Girls, Emma Bunton, and Mel B. They were all dropped. And then they said, no one was dropped. Virgin's Records deal just came to a natural end, and we decided not to continue.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
Right. But apparently she had an unreleased track with a Telstar Records is what it was called. She actually was doing, she wanted a more urban sound. Does not sound like...
That doesn't... I don't know. Can we fact check this?
Honestly, I'm really glad she didn't, because that would not have gone well.
No.
She had an electro pop influenced album tentatively titled Open Your Eyes, but that's when she was like, I really would like it to be more urban. And we're about to go into a little other, one of my favorite deep dive conspiracy theories, and started working with producer Damon Dash, who was Aaliyah's boyfriend at the time.
Oh.
And she was working on a very like R&B hip hop influenced track. Sorry, just wanted to dip into Damon Dash. She did a song with Damon, and it kind of really mixed reviews. She did a few songs with him, and they were just like, it was very heavily promoted. TV shows all at like Christmas time, where it's like, big. It did chart number 3 in the UK, but outside it was like, no thanks. Telstar announced bankruptcy and they canceled her albums. She was upset, like peeved that she just like wasted all this time in the studio and gave up her focus of fashion for this. So she was like, forget it. Now they are leaked online in their entirety. So this might be,
I was gonna say, like, if it was an unreleased track or whatever, like by now somebody's leaked them.
It is leaked entirely on, but she said, you know what? I'm just gonna go back to my fashion, and has since like blown up. Fashion Week, she has a beauty line called Victoria Beckham Beauty. It's 100% post-consumer waste. It's made from 100% post-consumer waste, while shipping materials are either recyclable or biodegradable. It's active and effective, but clean and kind. They do eye makeup, eyeliner, shadows, lips, tints, waterproof pencils. And then obviously like all of her, like her fashion label itself. She even had like a collaboration with Target where it was
really
apparently 2017, a new collection for Target with a wide range of sizes from XS, so extra small, all the way up to 3X. And she did children's line of clothing too. And said, I want my clothes to be fur free, and I want it to have no exotic skins kind of thing. She's done a lot with television, and they have their Being Victoria Beckham. And also I think they have like a family one, right? She was also in the,
possibly.
I don't really know tons about her. She's released books. She in 2007 she was voted. I don't know how this works. She was the 52nd richest woman in Britain and the 19th richest person in Britain, alongside her husband, with a estimated joint wealth of 112 million.
Wow.
Whoa.
UK money, so 225 million our money, because wow, inflation is a B. But that was in 2007. She's done a lot of charitable work with Save the Children and VH1. She's an international goodwill ambassador for UNAIDS. I don't know what that is. A patron of the Elton John AIDS Foundation. She is very much against faux and synthetic furs. She said the fur industry, like, she's very much against it, and works really closely with like PETA and stuff. And band bossy. I don't know what this is. Some band bossy. I don't know. Advocating leadership roles for girls. Don't be considered bossy. You're just a girl. She's also been appointed the Officer of Order of the British Empire, whatever that means. She was delighted and humbled for recognition. However, as recipients of the honors are sworn to secrecy, the Beckham had announced the honor before 2017, and everyone was criticizing her, saying it was a betrayal of etiquette, whatever that means. She was also appointed this year by the French Ministry of Culture as a Chevalier of the Order of Art.
Chevalier.
What?
Chevalier.
Yeah. Chevalier.
I was like, is that a car?
Yes, she is a Chevy.
That's a mixture of a Chevy and a Cavalier.
You know, the saddest thing is I'm French. I'm not French. I speak French, but as I was saying it, I was like, this isn't right. Chevalier of the Order of Arts and Letters, which is
my mouth is making sounds and I can't stop them, even though my brain really wants to.
I would have put it the exact same way if it helps.
No, same.
Well, basically, it's like, thank you for enriching the French culture.
Yeah.
So that's her in a nutshell. She's a mom. She's just trying to survive like all of us.
Crazy, crazy world.
To hot again.
All right, Sporty Spice.
Sport Spice. All right. I'm going to try to keep this short and sweet. Let's see if I
Mine
can.
real short too, because we are.
So,
pushing
okay, you got to correct me on pronunciation. So, Melanie Chisholm?
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's Chisholm. Yeah.
Mel C was born January 12th, another January baby, 1974. Let's see. Her parents separated when she was 4 years old. Pre-Spice Girls, she went to, it says, the Doreen Bird College of Performing Arts in London, leaving just short of completing a 3-year course, and then later gained a teaching qualification in tap and modern theater dance. So she studied singing, dancing, and musical theater pre-Spice Girls. And then after Spice Girls, she signed with Virgin in 1999 and recorded her album Northern Star. So the first album, which that's the one that I definitely had.
Yeah.
The song Gaga from the Big Daddy soundtrack was also on that album.
Yeah.
And she also co-wrote and recorded backing vocals for Hey You, Free Up Your Mind, sung by Emma Button from the Pokemon movie. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And she sang Never Be the Same Again, which was a popular track, which featured TLC Lisa Left Eye Lopez in March.
Rest
Rest in
Yes, rest in peace. And it was her #1 single. I also remember the song I Turn to You that she did, and it had several dance remixes, which were also awesome. And let's see, she released a few more albums. She had a song Independence Day from the soundtrack Bend It Like Beckham. There's all these connections here.
I love that.
I love it.
There's all these connections. Let's see. Second album was postponed until 2003. Okay. So here in 2004, Virgin Records dismissed her after the conflict previous years about the direction of her solo career. So it just sounds like Virgin Records was like, you know what, we don't want Spice Girls anymore.
Yeah.
So then she founded her own label called Red Girl Records to record and release her own projects. And all of her musical endeavors were like decided on and funded by herself. She's like, I'm going to make things the way I want to make things. Na 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 na. In 2009, I gotta fact check this. It was planned that she would star in a sequel to the film The Craft, apparently, but production was canceled, which is interesting. But then she got into acting. She's performed on the West End. She was a mentor / assistant in the third series of X Factor Australia and helped Mel B and her team. She also was on the panel for Asia's Got Talent, some more reality TV stuff here. And she was also on Dancing with the Stars.
He was.
I don't know how she did though. Do you know?
She wasn't a finalist. I think she got eliminated about halfway through.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
She's the vocal powerhouse, I would say.
Yeah. Yeah. But she's continuing work, stage performances, working as a DJ. She has, I guess, 9 studio albums. Her 9th studio album is called Sweat and will be released May 1st, 2026 in partnership with Virgin Music Group.
Nice.
So, yeah.
Maybe they're learning from their mistakes.
Yeah.
Yeah. It says the album's titular lead single was already released on October 2025. I have not yet heard it. Peaking at number 10 on the UK singles download charts. Okay. Okay.
Go Mel
Cool.
C. Getting it. All right, I'm going to do a real fast breakdown of Jerry Halliwell. She was born Geraldine Estelle Halliwell on the 6th of August, 1972 in Watford, Hertfordshire. Her father is Lawrence Francis Halliwell. He is Swedish, English, Finnish, and a little bit of French. Even her grandparents immigrated to England, so she grew up with other languages. And her mother, Ana Maria, is Spanish, so she literally grew up around a whole different cultures of people.
Very bilingual.
Yes. She was educated at Watford Grammar School for Girls and at Camden School for Girls. Before she started her music career, she worked as a nightclub dancer in Mallorca. She was a presenter on the Turkish version of Let's Make a Deal, and she was a glamour model. At 19, she appeared as a page 3 girl in The Sun. I had to look that up. So The Sun is a British tabloid, and apparently page 3, it had a convention of publishing large images of topless female glamour models. They were known as page 3 girls. They started that in 1969, and it wasn't until 2012 that an activist, Lucy Ann Holmes, launched No More Page 3 campaign, and they finally were like, okay, we can just post pictures of pretty girls and they won't necessarily be nude, which is just crazy to me.
I remember fairly, I guess, when I was in middle school, there were rumors, and again, lack of internet, couldn't fact check it at the time, but it was oh yeah, Ginger Spice, she was a prawn star, and I was
Yeah, so basically what happened is once she got famous, those nude photos were later republished by a number of international publications, including the American editions of Playboy and Penthouse in 1996. So that is really and I don't like it. So. But
again, the media was trying to demonize her, and
of course. So we already know how she kind of got into the group. Somebody, I love this Spice Girls Wikipedia article. Whoever wrote this loves Ginger Spice. Jerry's personality and leadership role in the group was compared to that of John Lennon during his early Beatles days.
Oh man.
So hey. So anyway, so she did Spice Girls, she quit, and she started doing her own music. She started with, I just had it all, where is it? There's also some more information on here that I think is really crazy. The whole reason of why she quit, there's so many different theories. There's another one that said that she wanted out of the group because they were about to start their tour, toward the end of their European leg of their tour. Jerry came out and said that she wanted to speak at a breast cancer awareness event as she had had a benign cyst removed surgically in her late teens, and the cause was important to her. And she claimed that the bandmates and their team prevented her from attending. And she said that she felt that clashed with the group's staunchly feminist views. So that's another theory.
There was, I know, trigger warning, all of them had a lot of issues with eating disorders because they were constantly told to be skinny, be skinny.
Of course.
I know that was one of the things that I read that was a big problem for her because she was constantly...
told she was too fat. 100%.
I mean, I think her smallest, she was only 98 pounds.
Yeah.
Wow.
Insane.
It's crazy. I won't get into this because I don't like it, but in the run-up to the 1997 UK general election, she declared that Margaret Thatcher was definitely original Spice Girl, rising from the greengrocer's daughter to prime minister. She liked Margaret Thatcher. I have my own opinions on Margaret Thatcher. She claimed that Thatcher was the pioneer of girl power and a spiritual sixth member of the Spice Girls.
Okay.
I don't think Margaret Thatcher actually cared about women. But anyway, so shortly after leaving the Spice Girls, she did a 90-minute documentary titled Jerry for Channel 4. She had basically changed a lot of herself. She switched to being a blonde. They called it an extremely fit figure. I call it scary. She was very thin and very muscular and just did not look healthy, but it is what it was. And she released her debut album, Schizophrenic, which was a global success. It spawned 3 UK number 1 singles, the Broadway-inspired Look at Me, Lift Me Up, and then Spanish-flavored Mi Chico Latino. In 1999, she became a representative for the United Nations Population Fund, and she became a Goodwill ambassador. She toured the Philippines. She visited with staff and clients of family planning clinics and women's group in underserved areas, as well as college students. In 2000, she released Scream If You Want to Go Faster, which was huge. She did a cover version of the Weather Girls hit It's Raining Men, which was it just topped the charts. Yeah. She was featured as a judge on the television series Pop Stars The Rivals. In late 2004, she made another single called Ride It, which was number 4 on the UK and number 1 on dance charts.
Nice.
In 2006, she gave birth to her daughter Bluebell Madonna. Her daughter's middle name came from 2 of Halliwell's heroines, the Virgin Madonna and the pop singer Madonna, apparently.
Okay.
Sure, okay.
Let's go with that.
In 2007, she returned to the Spice Girls for their Return of the Spice Girls tour, and that was the last time that they would tour as a quintet. In 2007, she signed a 6-book deal of making children's books that followed the adventures of a 9-year-old Eugenia Lavender, which was a character based on Halliwell alongside her friends Bronte, Rudy, and Trevor. She had more albums. She was on the X Factor for a bit as a judge. She also was in a handful of TV and movies. So she did Australia's Got Talent. She was in Spice World, obviously. She was also in Crank, High Voltage, Gran Turismo in 2023. She's written 2 autobiographies, If Only in 1999 and Just for the Record in 2002. She wrote the book series Eugenia Lavender in 2008, and then she started a young adult novel series called Rosie Frost in 2023. So yeah, that's what she's been
a busy girl too.
She's been busy.
Yeah.
And all of them are mothers. I think
Mel C as well. Yeah.
Yeah, Melanie C's the only one who hasn't gotten married, but she's in a relationship. She's just like, I don't feel a need to
Good
put
for her.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you all for joining us for our Spice Girls episode. We've been looking so forward to this, and we hope you guys enjoyed it as much as we did. Oh, there she is.
This is Spice Cat.
Yes. Very spicy cat.
Pretty Spice.
Sugar and spice.
It's just a baby.
As we said in our live, and I think I mentioned in our last episode too, we are going to take 1 season break, but don't worry, we will still have a Girls Room Live again for this next season of Splat Attack, and we will be back after a 1 season break for more. Let us know how you felt about the Spice Girls, how they affected you, what some of your favorite memories were. Please let us know. We love reading it in the comments on all of our reels.
Yep.
But again, thank you so much for supporting the Girls Room. This has really healed a lot of my inner child, and I love getting to do this with all of you, and I love that people are enjoying this as much as we are enjoying recording this. So thank you very much, and we will catch you soon. Splat you later.
Bye.
This episode was recorded at Splat Attack Studios in virtual home studios, though none in Florida.